everybody. So today I want to talk about my future, and I just want to illustrate what I want to be like in 10 years. First off, a good thing to do is set up some goals. So, things that I want to be in 10 years. So the first thing that comes to mind is a first class cook. And of course I don't have to go out and do culinary school. I just need to be able to have proof that I am a good cook. And that is through my friends or family, having dinner with them, and them appreciating the food I make. And I would already say I'm a maybe second class cook because I feel like I'm pretty good at cooking. But what's another? I've never really wanted to be extremely big when it comes to muscle mass and all of that. My brother might have. I've always wanted to be just a little bit bigger, like maybe 170 pounds, because I'm 155 and I've stayed there for like 2 years, maybe 3 years now. And it's like I feel happy with my body, but I still want to get stronger. And I know as a natural boy, I'm not really gonna get really much more, like, I'm not gonna look like a big buff bodybuilder. I'm just gonna look toned and nice, because my older brother, he's been working out since he was 16 and he is 11 years older than me. So I've been working out since I was 12 and I'm 20, so that's 8 years. He's been working out for, I think he just turned 30, 31. Yeah, he just turned 31. So 31 minus 16 is 15 years. So he has 7 years on me. And he's 180. And he looks amazing. My friend Alex, he was like, yo, you and your brother look like Greek gods. And I'm like, thank you for the compliment. Both me and him were like, yeah, thanks, thank you. But honestly, I think just getting stronger. So rep. So I'll just put that as a category. Getting stronger. Now this one might not apply to everybody, especially like people in Australia or Canada or Europe, because they can't imagine it. But I'm an American, and I've always been a really good shot with a .22, with a shotgun, with pretty much everything. And I love to shoot guns. If they take away that right, I'm very worried, because I'm pretty sure they did that in Nazi Germany. So, and in, I think, Roman conflict too. They did that in a bunch of countries where they take away your right to bear arms, and then it becomes like a totalitarian government. And nobody in America wants that, but we seem to have it already, so, whatever. I can't really, I'm not going to do anything about it. I wish I could, but, I'm not someone that's going to take rash actions and to change the global landscape. It just seems silly to me. I'd just rather work long and hard on building up more eco-friendly solutions, because I'm studying to be a mechanical engineer. So something like that was my rationalization for my next thing. A sharpshooter. And the way I would probably get this is through competitions. So one time, just to tell y'all, I have a little bit of experience. There's like Listerine bottles where you put your eye stuff. Like, I don't wear contacts, I wear glasses. I hate contacts, or even the thought of putting them in my eye. But, like, we filled like jugs up with water, and you shoot them with a big caliber gun, and then they just explode. Like, we did one of them like this, and just like it drips out. It looks fun. But we had a Listerine bottle. I think that's what it's called. But I shot the cap off, and then I shot it, and it was like I shot just like the tip of the cap off. And honestly, I don't even know if that counts, because it might have been on accident. It was a few years ago. But what's next? I guess for like school and stuff, aim for, study hard. So one thing that I was listening to this major, I was listening to this like old mechanical engineer, and he said mechanical engineering is beautiful because it's probably one of the only disciplines where it's still like art. And this guy was a senior dev and he was like 37 years old, and I was watching an interview with him off of like some CEO thing on YouTube. And honestly, it's just, I have a 3D printer, so I'm going to probably start doing more videos with that, because I should have been last year when I got it, but I've just been lazy. The programs used to modify the 3D print, I don't find that hard, I just find it hard accessing it. Like, I have to use this specific one in accordance with my school, and I'd rather just have more like a universal one. And I also find some things about 3D printing like terrible. I was watching this video about how a big thing about 3D printing is the infill, and how it provides structural support. And there was a video about how this company patented a special infill without improving upon the original patent that was done in 1980. And it's just like, honestly, I think patents sometimes do hurt innovation, the way to break a patent is to innovate upon it further and make sure it's a better product. But apparently the new one, which was done in like 2012 or something, didn't really have anything to add to the value. So, I don't know. There's a lot of messed up things I've been thinking about recently. Oh, but whatever. Okay, so studying is probably one of the easiest ones. So I erased the studying because, I'm about to do a side list of ways to achieve all of these goals. And, let's just focus on these broad topics first. So I grew up and my parents made me play a lot of piano, and I recently started playing again, and well, I started playing some this summer. I wouldn't say I started playing again, but pretty much I had a pretty easy time reading, because once you learn face and like Every Good Boy Does Fine and All Cows Eat Grass, which is the 4 things in between the lines, the blanks in between the lines, the spaces. That's what the notes are, and those face is the top line, All Cows Eat Grass is the bottom line, and those correlate to the notes And, you know, Coraline's a good movie. Y'all should watch it. Freaked me out when I was a kid, though. But pretty much, I want to improve my mechanical engineering degree. The thing about mechanical engineering is you usually go on a co-op. I'm entering my junior year. Usually go on a co-op, sophomore, junior year, and you work. And I've been aiming for a Mercedes co-op, and that's going to take 3 semesters or 3 terms. I don't know if that includes the summer or the winter, but hopefully I'll be in Europe and I'll be working for Mercedes and, you know, achieving my dreams. Because, you know, such a broad and big company, I'm sure they have some good programs for mechanical engineers. And now I've been doing, unlike piano, oh, I forgot to write, a pianist. Yeah, that's spelled correctly. Another thing that I've been doing is, as you can see on the right, I have a little stick figure. And that's supposed to be me with a chef's hat. The chef's hat could be a little longer, but that's a butcher's knife and a pistol to represent some of these things on my list. And, you know, I want to be an artist, and like I said earlier, mechanical engineering, it's better to treat it like art, but I haven't been taking it seriously. I haven't been taking anything seriously. Sadly, not even this YouTube channel. This is probably one of the first videos that I've been taking seriously. And the way I'm doing that is through this whiteboard. Whiteboards really help when you're trying to educate, when you're trying to do stuff, you know? So I want to consider myself an artist. So 30-year-old. So that's me at 30. Hopefully not bald. I don't think I'm gonna go bald because mainly neither of my brothers are. And in 10 years, I feel like they'll have a better fix than derma stamping or derma rolling and minoxidil or finasteride. Finasteride, by the way, you probably shouldn't take it. My dad's a doctor, and he told me don't take it because you're more likely to have like depressive symptoms, and my family's already at risk of that, so not really great. So be careful. Be very careful. For this next one, I drew a little graph, and this is a part of my next goal, and that is to be a gardener. And another one that I'm going to write down before I forget, because I think I just forgot. But I'll go on to the plant growth. So as global temperature is rising, a lot of people have been worried about plants and how they're going to die. But when you think about it, eons ago when dinosaurs were around, there were still plants. There were still lots of plants, bigger plants, I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely sure because there's a lot of plants in this world. There's like over 1 trillion or something. Maybe 1 billion, I don't know. But there's a lot. There's too many to count. Well, we have counted them as a human species, which is pretty funny. So not too many to count. But there's so many. But pretty much people have been worried about global warming and how it's going to affect growth. And this is something you can look up. Photosynthesis has a maximum. It hits 94 degrees and then it falls off. It doesn't fall off rapidly. It's like this is like 70 degrees. This is like 120 degrees. There's still growth. There's still life there. It's just nobody wants to live in a world that is barren and dead, you know? So, a lot of people are worried about global warming and how it's affecting the environment. You know, one thing I know is alligators, they're gonna be here. Crocodiles, they're gonna be here. A lot of reptilians will be fine. But the bigger, larger things, like woolly mammoths, they died off. Why is that? Because people killed them, I think. Humans, that is. Use them for their fur, their food, their trunks. Use them. But, you know, they were more adapted for a colder Earth. Back 10,000 years ago, it was Ice Age. And the reason, if y'all want to, I saw this this explanation of global warming because of humans recently, and it's like within the past millennia, we see the graphs like this, like this, like this. It's up and down. It's up and down. But if you zoom in, this is like over eons. It gets like lower, slower, and slower. And that's like over like a couple of years. And the thing is, like, this is average temperature. The thing is, we're like right here, right? We're like right here. And instead of happening over a couple of eons where it gets gradually warmer, gets gradually colder, it gets stupid hot, gradually cold, the carbon dioxide is affecting the atmosphere and the heat, and it is making it go way well, it's not accurate to use that graph. It's making it go up like that much, and that's terrible. That's not great. But there are ways to fix it. I mean, people are dragging carbon dioxide out of the air and stuffing it in the ground. I saw that in Sweden, or I think that was in Iceland, actually. Sorry. But, you know, as someone who wants to live in this world and have children and have those children have children, I don't want the world to become a desert. You know, I don't think anybody wants that. It's called the silent majority, and about like 90% of people say they don't want the earth to become hot. And they're willing to spend tons of money on solar, wind infrastructure. There is a problem with all that because in France and Spain they were having blackouts, power outages. And, you know, the thing about those power outages is they could have been solved simply, and we did solve them, but, I mean, I didn't, but they solved them, but they had the blackouts, and that happened to the hospitals, that happened all around the country. So what happened pretty much is there is a frequency that power generators work on, that power stations, work on, and they output this to the grid. They output this power to the grid, and it's, I think 60 hertz is the frequency. And, you know, a frequency wave looks kind of like this, except a little more smooth. But pretty much solar power, you only get it during the day. There are those new desert, like those big mirror solar powers, and the cool thing about those is they can actually generate power at night, which is insane to me. Like, oh, it's a solar power generator, and the thing about most of the like black power panels is they generate power during the day. If a cloud comes over them, they produce less power, and there are either two ways to fix it, because it's not producing it at a steady output. It's either first put into battery supply, which I think is the main route many people are going, it's also expensive, but everything's expensive. Or second, use, I forgot what the second one was. I just had it. Use a power converter. Just use a power converter to make sure when it goes back into the grid, it doesn't destabilize the power stations. And, luckily they figured it out, but Spain didn't or something. I don't know. But, on to the next thing. I think this is going to be the last thing. As someone who's taken a public speaking class, I know I'm not supposed to say or and like and as or something. But I'm 20. I'll be alright. So maybe I'll write on here better public speaking. When you say or something, you're only jousting for time for your brain to articulate what you're trying to say. And, not a great thing if you're speaking in front of like 100 people or something. And I think I am. So, yeah, definitely work on it. But the last thing on my list, the speaking one wasn't a part of it. But, filled with love, compassion, forgiveness. Now, I haven't been the most forgiving, the most loving, most kind person as of late, and I've noticed that in my own attitude. I mean, when you're arguing with your parents, you're just like, oh, is this my fault? Is this their fault? At the end of the day, you can only work on yourself to be as best as you can. And, to my mom and my dad, who I love very much, I don't want to argue with them. I don't want to be hateful towards them. And I'm sure a lot of y'all feel the same way. Filled with the Holy Spirit. So, okay, now, in order to become smarter, we're going to write some goals. Some weekly Why did the tractor go off? Usually you'd bring it around to like the front yard or something to work on it, but it stopped in the middle of the field, so I'm gonna go check on that real quick. I'll be right back. But weekly goals, we're on weekly goals. The first one, that is reading a new book every week. Not writing, but learning a new song, piano. I also like to whistle. Some of my shorts have that. But I'll be right back. Okay, so I checked on my dad, and he ran out of gas. So nothing urgent, nothing out of the ordinary. And then I decided, I want to go mow as well, because he's mowing the dove pasture. It's where we used to hunt doves every dove season, and it's dove season now, but we don't plant anything, so they don't really come. But what? Yeah, so I was like, I want to mow as well. So I got on the riding lawnmower, and I started mowing some of the dam. When you're mowing a dam, it's like, you want to be really careful, but I wasn't going on the angled part, I was only going on the flat part. And my belt, what else do you call it? Belt? Yeah, the belt just broke, just snapped in half. I was like, what the heck? But just luckily my dad started ordering 2 new belts when, honestly, some of these contraptions need to be fixed. Like today I was watching this other dude on YouTube, and he was explaining how companies are trying to take legal directives so that it's harder for you to repair your own machines. And I just find that ridiculous. Like, it's truly depressing. And how AI is taking all your information without your consent if you agree to the terms of service. My question is, how are terms of service like click here to accept all of the above allowed? I'm agreeing to things I'm not even reading. I'm not even reading it because they make fun of it on popular shows like South Park and comedy sketches around, where it's just like, why am I agreeing to something that I have not enough time to read this terribly long list? Like a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to read this 14 bulleted point and like every point is like a paragraph. Oh, just don't even get me started. Okay. Reading a new book weekly, learning a new song weekly, painting weekly. So here is, I work out a lot, so I don't even need to put anything for weekly. And for my mechanical engineering degree, I do a lot of studying. I don't study as much as I should, but I think I'll get there. I do need to practice more, like, of just zoning in and really studying. But, I mean, YouTube is helping me with public speaking. Painting goes with artists and this. But for cooking and sharpshooting are the 2 things I have left. And making cooking videos is one thing I've been wanting to do. Like, oh, I have this idea where you make a bougie PB and honey, or bougie PB and jelly, or, the best of all, PB and Nutella. But I'm going to probably make a video on how to make your own Nutella, because, they have vanillin, which is an artificial sweetener. I mean, it's an artificial flavor, and why not just pay for real vanilla like they used to? Like, back in, 2010, they used to do this. It's terrible. My brother Evan, he is a nutritionist, he's a gym freak, he is a spiritual leader, he's a very smart individual. So, and then the last one is sharpshooting. And honestly, while I'm studying, I don't really know how I'm supposed to. I was thinking, oh, I'll drive back home every 2 weeks, but a drive back home is 4 hours. I don't want to make that trip. So, if anybody has any suggestions, and if your suggestion is going to the shooting range, there was a shooting range, but it closed down, and it is abandoned or something. I don't know why. Like, I wish the shooting range was still open, because I saw my friend, we'll call her Elle, and she went to a shooting range while in college, and I'm like, I'm surprised my college, being in the place it is doesn't have more avid sharpshooters, like more avid shooting fans, gun fans. I became a fan of guns because when I was like 5 years old, I was taken out here to my papa's farm, and he set up one of these jugs, a milk jug, a water jug, and he didn't fill it with water. He was just like, "All right, here's your BB gun, shoot it." And best time of my life. I mean, like, you get a BB gun, you shoot, you have fun. But I mean, I guess I could use a BB gun to practice sharpshooting, because those aren't illegal, but they're not too accurate. That's the only problem. It's air powered. It's not gunpowder powered. But my dad's back, so I think I'm gonna have to do some stuff. So I'll talk to y'all later. I'll work on this a little bit more maybe. And yeah, I guess that's it. So see y'all.